be like, hey, I don't know if you know how to play this game at all. Like, I'm still learning myself. But I think you really need to find another job because you're shit at it.
Hey everybody, what's up? Circus here coming at you with another top 10 list. This time it's a viewer suggestion and it's going to be the top 10 consistent decks, I guess, of all time. And I tasked Herf with coming up with it because he's a very consistent person. So I was like, Herf, I want you to come up with the most 10 consistent decks.
Yeah, so the biggest problem that I had with making this list is that there are some really, really consistent decks that are just never been good and never will be good. So like you could think about like any balanced deck is by definition like the most consistent, but do they consistently do anything good? I guess is the trade-off I had to think about. So this is the decks that do the most consistent good.
Well, and then back, excuse me, back in the day when Duel Links was young, you'd play 12, 13 monsters and then like 7 back row. So
Mm-hmm.
that's consistent, right? You're always opening monsters when you need them. So the game was a
Yeah.
lot different back then. So this is decks that actually have like synergy and comboing and things like that. So
Mm-hmm.
all right, let's get it started then. What's number 10, Herf?
Spell Specialist Shiranui.
Now you're gonna have to explain this one to me. How long was this around for?
This thing was around for
Like
like
a
a couple
week?
months.
A couple months? Okay.
Yeah, because or also known as Grass Shira.
Okay, now I'm
Yeah.
with you. Now I'm with you. Okay, Grass
Well, the Grass
Shiranui. Okay.
Shira used Spell Specialist. This was
Okay.
arguably a tier 0 deck. It was extremely powerful. It got nerfed extremely quickly, although you did have to play like 5 spells that were kind of bad, so you didn't always open your grass. And when you didn't open grass, it was like still like a strong deck, but grass was your main win con. And so yeah, it was consistent. It was very strong. Although I don't think that it was maybe as consistent as the other ones on this list.
How many grass looks greener could you play at that time? Was it 3?
Yeah, you could play 3 Grasslick Screener with Spell Specialist, and Spell Specialist actually weighted the copies of spells you play, so you'd almost always open grass. So you were like pretty. Honestly, this could be. Now I'm looking at it. This could be a little higher,
This is
but
now
I'll
number
put it.
1. We're done.
I
Good
mean,
night.
I don't know. It's definitely not number one, but I don't know. It's a
It's
very
good. It
solid
was
number
it was a
one.
good deck. I remember that with
It's
the
very strong.
what was it, the Whirlwind Flame or whatever?
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, Lava Whirl Flame. Oh my, that card was so triggering. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I don't even want to talk about it. Next deck,
Next deck. All right, let's move on.
Balanced Heroes from back in the day.
I love this
Ooh.
deck. We still recommend this in the new player videos once. Well, not anymore, but we used to. We used to.
Yeah, so this deck like pretty much always opened backer removal plus mask change with your Dark Heroes. So you could pretty consistently OTK. So it was a really strong
Yeah.
deck for its meta.
This deck lasted for almost a year. Remember, I think it was one
Hmm.
of the first decks that really lasted that long. I mean, heroes changed a lot, but they kind of stuck in that balance area for a very, very long time.
Yeah, I mean, just for that, for the game at that point, being able to consistently put out a 2800 attack monster that could flow into another 2800 attack monster, and then they could even play stuff like Chalice, so it could attack directly for 3200. I mean,
Yeah,
it
that
put a
was
lot of
devastating.
pressure.
Yeah,
It put a lot of pressure on the opponent, and we didn't have as much good back row back at that time. Like we had Canadia and stuff like that, but we didn't have like this the huge back row saturation that we have
and I think you could actually have 3 mass change, right? Because you could like open 2,
now.
destroy a monster, get your third, and just go
Yeah,
for
I
game.
mean,
Yeah, it was
you,
disgusting.
yeah, I mean, you would have like Drill Dark. You could have like Drill Dark, Celestial, Mass Change, and like Canadia, and that was like an absolute god hand back in the day.
Yeah,
So pretty good.
disgusting. Yeah. All right, what's number 8?
Grit Thunder Dragons.
Now you're gonna have to explain this one a little bit. I never really played Thunder Dragons.
Yeah, so Grit Thunder Dragons was really popular when Levineer was first released at the beginning of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And so the reason this deck is so consistent is they played 0 Garnets. And what I mean by Garnets is like they played 0 cards that weren't good for their combo. The problem was is their combo was only good going second.
Oh, okay.
So they would just play grit. They would summon, they would summon Dragon Dark Pass, and then if the opponent did anything, they got a search, and then they would just be able to kill their opponent instantly on the next turn. And this is the deck that really got grit nerfed because this deck,
The final grit nerf.
yeah, the
There's
final
another
grit,
deck on this list
the
that also got it
the
nerfed.
nail in the coffin grit nerf was because of this deck because it was so disgusting. It just had to go second. Like it 100% combo going second. You know what I'm saying? So they just it was disgusting. It was pretty strong.
And actually, the very next deck on this list also contributed to the grit nerf, so we can go right into that. And this is a deck
Yeah,
I loved. It was very degenerate, and I think I had my best KC Cup ever with this deck, and I think a lot of people could say that. And that is, it says Sylvans, but let's be honest, it's grit
really.
Sylvans.
I mean, did Sylvans play another skill besides grit?
I don't know.
I
Did
don't think.
they?
I really don't.
I
I
think
think they
grit
played.
no grit Sylvans came out during a KC Cup. Like
Wait, did they
that
play
was an
balance
ad.
before then?
I don't remember, but that was an ad. I want to say beatdown or something like that.
I think. Wait, I think it was before the balance nerf because they could play 3 Ultimate Providence and open one of them all the time with the rest monsters.
I want to say Grit Sylvans came out during a KC Cup, and everybody was like, "This is absolutely ridiculous." Because then it was like
Mm.
Grit Sylvans with 2 econ, because you played almost all monsters, and then just like
Hmm.
a few spells and traps, because you didn't want spells and traps in your deck. Because if
You
you went to,
wanted to mill that mushroom.
right, so you did, because those spells and traps would just go right to the bottom of your deck. So you'd play like 2 econ on the deck. So you play Grit Sylvans, and then if you drew into one of your econs, you're doing econ takes, and oh my god, it was disgusting.
Yeah, the best thing about this deck is literally every single monster that you played was milling cards, and all of the cards that you wanted or that were in your deck wanted to be milled. So it's crazy, and even the stuff that you don't want to mill, like your econs, just get put back in the deck so you can draw them more consistently in your next turn.
Right, it was great.
Like what?
And I
That
think
is
this was
so
the
good.
or I'm sorry, the grit where it would just keep procking. Like you could have 1 hit point or life point,
Hmm.
and someone can hit you for 1 life point, hit you for one life point, and like you had a very small chance, but it could proc 3 times on one turn.
Yeah,
It was
this was just
disgusting.
such
Yeah.
a
But the
yeah. It
deck,
was.
we're bitching about grit, but Sylvans was just disgusting because yeah, you most of the time you'd open with something like Mushroom, right, and you would
Mhm.
just set pass, or you'd have something like Marshall Leaf, and it would excavate cards, and all of a sudden you're tossing mushrooms, you're throwing other leaves, so you got and then all of a sudden you got Rose Lover into the grave, and then you got a Guardy Oak in the hand, you're summoning that thing, it's excavating cards, and yeah,
Yeah, I mean everything excavated and everything wanted to be excavated. I mean,
right.
that's why I think that's why I think it's number 7, even above something like Spell Specialist Shiranui. How you could be like, yes, deck was so good. But I mean, really, Grid Summons, everything in the deck contributed to your win con, and all of those, like, it was just beautiful. It was poetry,
Yeah,
honestly.
it was just a disgusting deck, and it had to be nerfed to the ground. It was, I think, it was the first nerf we saw where it was just like they just dug their heel into it and just ground it into the dirt, and you're like, you're done, you're done, you're done.
Yeah.
All right, poor Sylvans, I miss you. All right, number 6.
Oh, restart Karakuri.
Yeah,
So the deck that was just meta. I
rip.
mean, I don't know how much we need to say about this because everybody remembers it because it was just going around. I
Yeah,
mean,
it just happened. Just happened.
it this deck was too good. It needed to be nerfed, and I would say the restart before they had the restrictions as well. So you had like the most amount of combo pieces, and you could play exactly 20 cards. You could play Hate Grenade, all that
Hmm.
stuff. Absolutely disgusting. I don't know how they ever allowed it to begin with.
Yeah, but this is one of those decks. It preferred to go second or first.
I
First,
would
right?
I would prefer to go first with
Right.
restart car because you can put up so many negates.
Because
Oh
going
my
if they went
god!
second, you could obviously disrupt them, and then it wasn't as consistent. I mean,
I
they
mean,
consistently had their pieces, but you could disrupt them.
they still played Hatred Name. Let's give credit
Right,
where
right.
credit's due. Like
That's true.
they were good going both ways, especially when they had access to Hatred Name.
Hmm.
So like like the first iteration of the deck was more broken than the other one, but yeah.
Okay. All right, let's move on to number 5 then. This is one we should probably got Neg in here to talk about.
Dude, full power element savers. Oh my god. This
Ridiculous,
deck.
right?
Alright, so you played 6 Malehus because Palace could search any search anything. When you played Sorcery Conduit, you essentially played 6 Alistairs.
Right.
I don't know how much more I need to say. 6 of anything in a 20 card deck is you have about a 50% chance to open it with 4 cards. So going second, you have a little better chance than that. Plus, all of your element sabers will throw cards from the deck, meaning you have a better chance of drawing it other cards that you need the next turn. And of course, all of your element sabers can change into any attribute, so Alistair can use any of them. I mean, oh my, deck is broken.
Yeah. Well, we know for sure that Neg won -1 won one of his KC Cups with this for sure. And I think he came real close with another one. So
I mean, it was probably the best deck as long as it was around.
well, yeah, when it was full power. Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, nothing could compete because all of the now people are playing stuff like Winda, Stratos, other stuff like that with Alistair. But those cards don't do anything by themselves, right? Like they don't. I mean, like Winda does stuff, of course, but it's not as good as Malehu, which is a meaningful normal summon that establishes board control by itself.
Right.
And then you have Alistair for an offensive follow-up.
A built-in Canadia. You know,
that is so good.
All right, now that Herf can move again, we'll go into. We were just saying, Element Sabers had a great built-in Canadia, and just made the deck ultra consistent too. So hard to play against.
For sure.
All right, let's move on to number 4.
Full power balance Kawaki.
Yeah, that was.
Oh my god.
But you know what this deck did the most consistent? It blew up at the end of your turn. That's what it did consistently.
But okay. However, hear me out. So you had 6 spells that you wanted to open, right?
Right.
And you need to play 6 spells for the skill. So you were guaranteed to open those spells, and then all of your monsters use those spells to OTK your opponent.
Right.
Like, I don't know.
And one of the spells could search any card in your deck.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I think that's just really consistent. And plus, I mean, Kawaki Miru played other skills as well, like Sealed Tombs towards the end, and basically just became like a really disgusting searchable OTK engine. So, I mean, there's that. And that just shows you how consistent Kawaki are, because Diamond Core is a stupid card in Duel Links in the 20-card format. Just being able to search anything is amazing.
Well, it was even better when it was Kaiba Core Bling.
Oh yeah, Kaiba Core Bling. Dude, that skill too. You just search your Diamond Core. That just search any card in your deck, man. I mean, I think we should.
If you had a prismatic Diamond Core, you could get on any Team Wars team that you wanted.
Yeah, I mean, you could just say Kawaki in general. It doesn't even have to be balanced. I think balanced because is the most consistent version, but being able to play 6 of a searcher is absolutely stupid.
Yeah. Luckily, this deck didn't last as long as a lot of the decks on here. It seemed like it was a much shorter meta for Kawaki.
Yeah, when Konami actually cared to balance their game, heck wait.
I think they got knocked out by 6 Sams, didn't they?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, surprise, surprise. Number 3.
What's next? Oh my god.
Full power 6 Sams.
Alright, deck's stupid. I don't know how much I need to say, because they had built-in draw 2s. They had Dojo could summon from the deck, so all you needed to open was like Kizaru plus a Dojo, and you had basically full combo. Right. And I mean, we saw even after they got nerfed the first time, we saw in the World Championships, I can't remember who it was, but in the finals, he opened like Kizaru, Dojo plus Double United, and this man single-handedly got 6 samurais killed. I'm blaming that guy, because Konami saw that in the middle of the World Championship, and they were like, God damn!
That's disgusting.
Dude, none of our devs are that good at the game. Like, look at this.
How did this happen?
But, I mean,
Yeah, this deck
I
I
don't.
always hated playing because you knew you were gonna go up against it at some point on the ladder or whatever. And as soon as you saw it and it was like, oh, they're going first. All right, how do I play around Xian? You know, and
Do I
if
have
you
lava golem? No.
right,
Okay. Well, I guess I
yeah.
screwed. Nice.
I have one trap card in my hand. Well, that's now a useless card because I need at least two, and yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It was just stupid good.
I still don't
Honestly.
miss this deck. When I run into it on the ladder, I'm just like, oh, I'm like, why are you still playing this deck?
Even though it's like really bad now.
But if they get the Xian off, it's like, man,
Yeah. I mean, Xian plus dual wield is still a good
it
combo. Can
is.
confirm.
Yep,
But
still very good. All right, moving on to
number
number
2,
two right here.
full power Crystron's.
Crystron's
So
pre-nerf,
good.
yes.
So freaking good. They had like 9 optimal starters. Like they could just play 30 cards because they felt like it.
Right.
Like what? That tells you how consistent a deck is when they don't even have to care about their like card count.
Yeah, their
They're
deck
like,
size, meh, 30's
yeah,
fine.
like I mean, they got like the dual column and dual links where it's like, yeah, but 30 cards is better because you got more stuff. And then Chris Runs were like, you have a point. You have a point.
At
We're
one
gonna do
point, I
that.
think they were like, you know what? I think we could put Exodia in this thing while we're at it. I'm just saying. Just
Yeah,
saying.
hey, why not? You're always gonna have a
Grandpa's
starter.
cards, let's go.
Hey, why not? I don't
There's
see
an
why
off
not.
chance you might get it.
Hey, and if you don't draw it, you have discard fodder for Brionic. Hey, and if you do, you win the game. I don't see
Right.
any. What's the drawback? So
Grandpa's cards, Cristrons. Let's go.
yeah, because they had 9 optimal starters, which were Undyne, Scrap Recycler, and Sulfafnir, which were all optimal starters played at 3, as well as you had some pseudo starters, and what I mean by that is stuff like Fistburn,
Yep.
Smiger could pop themselves, special summon a tuner from the deck, and you can facilitate some basic level defensive combos going first just off of that alone.
Right.
So really, you had like half of your deck
Right.
was a starter.
It could get your deck going, which is just
And if you
crazy.
draw your 9 optimal starters, you basically win the game. And if you don't, you're still just as good as the next deck.
Right.
So I don't see any point in
Yep.
saying that this. I mean, I don't know. Stupid.
Yeah.
Stupid.
It was time for them to go though. They were around for over a year.
Yeah, they were around for a long time, and that just shows you how good they were.
Well, because like the first 3 or 4 months, nobody played them. Nobody
Well, the
understood them.
first tournament after that they were released was a battle phase,
And
and I
Doling.
think it was Dol. Yeah, it was Doling.
Yep, I called that one, I think.
That stupid guy, man. I
Yeah.
love that guy. Love Dolan. And he won. He was like, I didn't even know how to play the deck. I was just clicking cards. That's just what he said. He's like, I don't
Right.
know. I don't know what's going on.
And he was
I'm
the
just
only one that
clicking
knew how to
stuff
play
that I want.
Cristrons at the time.
Yeah, I mean, the dude, dude pulled it off. I mean, good job on his part, but it just showed you. I mean,
But then we
Krishan's
went months without seeing another win after that. It was a long time. It was a long
yeah,
time.
until we got Fistburn in the mini box, and then people were like, oh, shit. Fistburn what changed the game so much for Krishan because they could search, as well as that's when they got Impact as well.
Right.
Impact was very, very good.
It was impactful.
I would say so.
Yes.
I would agree.
All right. I'm going to do quick honorable mentions before we go on to number one. I just want to, I guess I mentioned them a little bit at the beginning of the video, but all the old school Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links decks, very consistent. 12 monsters, 8 spells and traps, 13 monsters, so, 7 spells and traps. I mean, those are very consistent.
I think that if I had to pick an honorable mention, it would be Restart Spellbooks.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the deck was built like a machine. Honestly, it could probably fit in here somewhere, but I still hate Spellbooks to this day because of it.
Yeah.
Honestly, it takes every fiber in my being not to just click surrender when I see a spellbook card played.
Wow. How about stall decks? Usually stall decks were pretty consistent.
Hey, I'm fine with stall. I like stall. I like the challenge.
I remember I played stall in RRQ and I got like, I don't know, I got high enough that I got a bunch of prismatic cards. It was like top 400 or something in my region, top 300 with a stall.
Yeah, I mean, stall, last gamble stall? was unironically very, very good.
I can't remember if it was Last Gamble, but I think it was that one because we had like the golden ladybugs and you were gaining life
Yep.
every turn.
Last Campbell stall.
I remember
Yep.
playing against spell books a lot and
Yeah, because
heroes and
yeah,
Amazon.
you would just gain. You would last gamble, go down to 100 life points, and then you'd be like, "Ha! I refuel 3 golden ladybugs,
Yep. Whoop, whoop, whoop,
1,500 life points."
whoop.
But yeah, this is pretty crazy. There have been a lot of very good decks, but yeah,
Gotta love them stall
I
decks.
couldn't put stall in this tier list.
No, now I
This
hate
list.
playing against stall decks because I know it's just because I played them a lot because honestly I didn't understand the game as well as I do now. You know, they're just easier to play. Nope.
No,
Nope.
you do not
Nope.
have my consent.
Nope. They're very easy to play.
You're like, actually, I don't want you to attack me. Thank
Right.
you."
Nope. It's a very, very, very easy win con. All right. One on our, this one's always number one on our list for some reason. It's a deck I just love to hate, and that is
Yeah. Dark Lords, man. This deck was stupid, and
Yeah.
it was so good,
just terrible.
so good. Oh my god, I don't know what to tell you. Okay, they had banishment, which was basically search any card in your deck. They had Ixchel that discarded itself and another Dark Lord card in your hand to draw 2 cards. But plot twist, they actually want to be discarded, so you don't actually pay a real cost in order to draw 2. So you basically had a free draw 2. You can search any card in the deck. Oh, and did I mention all of the Dark Lords can copy spells and traps in the grave? So
And
that
shuffle them back into the deck.
yeah, so that banishment, you would search a card, it's sitting in the graveyard, and you use your Dark Lord on the field. Oh, I guess I'm searching another card. So banishment was truly a +1 for almost no cost because you play something like Compensation, Destiny Draw, Kyber Bling, that all gave you more resources off of paying life points.
Right.
So you weren't actually paying a real cost. You were doing something you wanted to do.
Yes.
What? And then plus if that wasn't enough, you played a card like Ukoback, which could just dump any spell or trap card
Yep.
in the graveyard. So you could just put your banishment there and be like, ha! I didn't draw it this time, but I'll just pseudo search it so I can search something else.
Yep. They were so consistent that most of the finals back in those days in the tournaments that we were doing were Dark Lord mirrors.
Yeah, like
A lot of them. I got burnt out on doing tournaments because of Dark Lords. Because like the top 8 would be like 6 Dark Lords. You know,
yeah,
it was just disgusting after a while.
It was truly a fun killer. Like
yeah, the game was not fun at that point.
I legitimately don't know how Konami I wonder if they did play test the banishment at all. Like did they even think about it?
Right.
Like because I would imagine into like a heavily like meta based card game like Duel Links is that they would play test cards before introducing them. Right? Like I would hope so. So what dev play tested Dark Lords with banishment and it was like, yes, this is acceptable.
This is fair and balanced. This definitely won't ruin the game.
Like I genuinely want to know who allowed banishment. Because I would really like to write them a letter.
A
Just
strongly
saying, hey,
worded letter.
Be like, hey, I don't know if you know how to play this game at all. Like, I'm still learning myself. But I think you really need to find another job because you're shit at it. Like, bluff. How did you allow this? But just search as many cards as you want. That's balanced, right? Especially in the 20 card format when you're almost guaranteed to open your combo pieces anyways. I mean, what could go wrong?
And this meta went on for a very long time too. They were in no hurry to. They nerfed the deck, but it didn't really hurt it. You know.
Yeah.
They
were like, hey, you can only play 2 contact and 1 sanctified, and they were like, okay.
It just still went on dominating. It didn't like hurt the deck at
it
all.
didn't do anything. Oh my god.
This deck ruined the game, ruined the game for a lot of people. I think.
Yeah.
It just made it unfun because people always talk about a tier 0 meta. We've had a few. We had Cyber Angels, Six Sams, and then Dark Lords. There might be a few others, but I mean, those are ones that stick out in my mind. Where like you had to play those decks, or you weren't playing the game, or you had to build your deck to beat them. You know.
Yeah, I would say Spell Specialist Shiranui also.
That was very short though, very short. You know.
Yeah,
Like
but
Six Sams went on forever, Dark Lords went on forever, Cyber Angels went on
yeah,
forever. You know, they were very long metas.
yeah, but yeah, I don't know, man. It was toxic. Absolutely, I don't know what else to say. I mean, they were just toxic.
Yep.
But with that,
Yeah, I don't even know what to say, but that was a good list, Herf. You did a good job.
hey,
We'll see what the comments say.
the comments are probably gonna be like, "Hate her, bro.
Hate her.
Hate that guy. Hate her, man." And hey, most days I'll agree with you. So at least we can drink to that.
Wow. All right. Make sure to get in our Discord because that's where we host all of our tournaments. We have a great new player channel where you can get help in there if you need it. We do a new player stream on Saturday nights. It's really awesome. Make sure to check out all of Herb's videos, like the top 5 techs of the month, how to play videos. What else? Pack openings.
Like, comment, subscribe, join, hit the notification bell. Do it.
There you go. All right, we're gonna get out of here. I'm Circus. That's Herf. All right, we'll see you next time.